Today we're going to go over how to make the template for routing out the house stringers. This is a finished one. I'll show you what we're shooting for. This is a section of tread material, piece of riser material, and the wedges that are driven in. And we'll go over how to put it together. This is a piece of scrap 3/4 inch plywood. And we're simply going to screw down a jointed piece of material. The only thing that's important here is that this edge is straight. Riser stock will go against it. We want the opening to be the thickness of the material that's going to go in here. So I'll simply take another piece of stock, run it up so that it butts against here. So this is the opening size that we're looking for, so that the tread will just barely fit in there. We want to press against it. I'm pressing this way slightly. And I'm simply using the framing square to get a right angle. So it's in there pretty snug. The next thing we want to determine is what's going to be our nosing reveal. So when the riser comes up against this thing, how far do we want? I usually run 1.25 inches. We'll look at that in a minute. The next thing we're going to do is to place these such that, again, this doesn't need a jointed edge, but it happens to be that way, such that when we drive the wedge home, we're going to get full contact across here. So it's important that if you have a tapering jig, this is the one that I hang on to, it's just a piece of scrap, but when I make these, and I do this on a bandsaw, the thickness and the degree of taper is the same. So what I'm going to do here is press this against the fitting so it's tight, and I'll leave a little gap in the back and run it down. But I want to know what my nosing reveal is. I'm going to come over 1.25 inches. And that's going to be to the face of the riser. So at this point, I hope you can see that that's the reveal that I'm looking for. Place the wedge in, screw it home. can see it's not quite all the way to the corner. You can see that or not. The wedge comes up just a little bit shy, so I got room to drive it hard. Repeat the process on the other side. And the only thing that's important here is that these are the same thickness, so the router will ride on them. All right. What I want to be able to do now is set for my nosing so that when the router comes in, it has the same profile, whatever this profile is. To do that, you can either butt a piece in there and closely approximate it with the curvature of the router bit, or you can use a filler material to exactly duplicate whatever nosing profile you have. This is standard bullnose, but there are other profiles that don't lend themselves to a simple radius. Crack, that's not good. You know, if I were doing it if I was actually going to route it, I'd replace this with another piece. However, we can take this void, we don't need this anymore. We need to fill this void so that the router will fill or will follow that profile, this particular one. The way I do that is take a piece of plastic, in this case it's strapping material. Oops. Got my mark there. Mark's right. I want to come back and maintain my reveal. So I got my. So I still have my 1.25" nosing reveal. If I can see that. Now I got a release agent on this material here. I'll use, you can use anything. Some guys use Bondo. I happen to use this product. It sets up fast. It's easy to work with. Mix with water. Simply fill in the void. Let it harden. And then when it's time to route, remove all the parts and pieces. This will have that profile out of this material, and you route it out. And that's really all there is to it. It's very fast. The only thing you want to make sure is that you don't exit the end, but you leave yourself enough room to make the fitting. And you route the whole thing out. It ends up looking